run through a wall.
We're going to run some clock, or maybe some.
This team is destined. That was by far one of the most pathetic postseason games I've ever seen from a team. The Eagles were simply outcoached, outsmarted, out-hustled every single step of the way. That was one of the most pathetic games I've ever watched. A.J. Brown giving up on routes, couldn't catch a pass. Kevin Petullo dialing up plays. I mean, it's 1st and 20, and we're dialing up these little hitch routes. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is by far one of the pathetic teams. And to me, you know, all along since the Cowboys loss and since the Bears lost, Chargers lost, all of these different things, right? All of them. Why we all said, oh, you know, this is a collapse. This is 23 all over again. Then we started to win again, and everybody hops back on this train that the team is good. But since day one, I told you, this team is not good enough. If you can't put up points, you're not going to win. If you can't put up points, you're not good enough. I've been saying it since day one. I've been saying it since the gosh damn Cowboys game. And since we lost those 3 games in a row, and then we won, and we beat the Raiders, and then whatever else, we beat the Washington. Everybody hops back on the train. Yeah, the boys. We're going to go win. This is by far one of the most fundamentally awful football teams. And this is exactly who they've been all year. There's so many issues with this team, like fundamental issues. Nick Sirianni needs to get more hate than he's gotten all year because his job, he's not an offensive-minded head coach. He's not a defensive-minded head coach. He's a fundamentals and discipline guy. But we are the worst possible team when it comes to penalties, holding. It's just like all these stupid little things that add up. And how about Jake Elliott? I mean, I don't know. Like, at this point, dude, like the Jake Elliott kick wasn't going to mean anything, wasn't going to change the outcome of the game. At one point, I believe that Jake Elliott miss was going to impact the game. But to me, like, now you look back at it, man, this team, no matter what, they were going to lose this game, man. They had 2 interceptions. They couldn't come up with touchdowns on them. You watch this, and this defense, I don't think the defense played great. I thought the defense played well enough, right? Like, there was absolutely no reason why the Eagles could not go out there and go win a ball game today. Not a reason at all. And because here's the thing. The 49ers came into Philadelphia. They were on the road. They played all their starters against Seattle. They only put up 3 points, right? Like, they didn't have the rest the Eagles had. The Eagles were rested. And this is one of the reasons why I said I actually wanted the starters to play in that final game against Washington, because I wanted the rhythm. I wanted to see these guys get into a rhythm. I wanted to see them do what they have to do. And this is one of the fundamental things. And, this is so many things. So they come into Philly, and, they're banged up. They're without a lot of big-time players. And then in the first quarter, Kittle gets hurt. Really, and I can't even think straight, man. I just can't think straight. They're like, Kittle gets hurt. They come into the game. They're banged up. The Eagles literally were handed a win. And then Purdy throws 2 interceptions. I mean, the game was handed to them since kickoff. This game was handed to the Philadelphia Eagles. They couldn't win. They couldn't do anything right offensively. I mean, this is one of these catastrophes. This is a catastrophe. This is 23 all over again. This is the Eagles losing to the Buccaneers all over again. It's the same thing over again. There's so many issues, man. I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. And I think that a lot of the blame for this season needs to go to Howie Roseman as well. I think Howie Roseman had a horrendous offseason, and this team was dealt with like a good team. Like, the Eagles were a great team on paper, and they were supposed to go back to back and win another Super Bowl, right? Like, that's all the things they were supposed to do. But I think we have to look at the fact that, Howie Roseman, to me, and I said this all year, especially when we were having the Adoree Jackson issues, right? I felt that Howie Roseman left this team high and dry. He said, oh, well, it doesn't matter. We're going to let Mekhi Becton go. We're going to let Isaiah Rodgers go. We're going to let Slay go. We're going to let all these guys go. Like, that is what happened. And that, to me, is a major issue. It's a major issue. I just don't get it. And it's just so bad. It really is. I can't find the right words, because this is what this team has done to me all year. Like when the Phillies got bounced in the postseason a couple months ago, you had the words for that. For this, you don't have the words, because you had A.J. Brown, who's supposed to be the star wide receiver, giving up on routes, couldn't catch a pass, up on Devontae. The Eagles absolutely gave up on Devontae Smith. They didn't pass him the football, even though he got hurt a little bit. How about Dallas Goedert? Throughout the entire game was killing him. We abandoned Dallas Goedert as well. And then in the first half, Barkley, they're running the ball to the outside with Barkley, which is great, picking up big-time yards. They just abandoned the run in the second half. And when they did run the ball, it's straight pipe right up the middle. So there is, and we're going to get into it more later into the show and throughout the week and throughout the offseason. But to me, I think that this team has to actually look in a different direction from Kevin Patullo. I think that, and I understand there's people out there that are saying, hey, you know what, man, we need continuity. We need Jalen to have the same guy consistently out there calling the plays offensively. And I understood that for a large majority of the season. But now I'm at the point where that guy just cost you a big-time game. He costed you a big-time game. He costed you games the entire season. Him and his buddy Sirianni costed you last week to go get the 2 seed. There is, it's just so bad. It is so bad. 215-839-8246. That's the number to get in. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, because I'm heartbroken. I am disgusted. I am embarrassed by this football team, and I think you guys are too. I'd love to hear from you. Let's go to the phones. Let's get it started. Let's go to my buddy Vince in South Georgia. What's going on, Vince?
Hello?
Yo, Vince, you're on Broad Street. What's going on, pal?
This has just been the most predictable offense has the offense changed since week 1? Can you tell me that, Rye? Has the offense changed once?
No.
And I'll answer it for you. It's a rhetorical question. It has not. It is a ultimate disgrace with the amount of money that we're paying these people.
Vince, your internet's bad, bro. Vince, hang up and call back. Your internet's horrible, brother. Your internet is horrible. Hang up and call back, Vince. Internet's bad. Internet's bad. His internet didn't show up just like the Eagles. The Eagles didn't show up. Vince, call back. 215-839-8246. That's the number to get in. This is... It's fun. It's fundamental losses, man. It is fundamentally one of the worst things you could do. This is one of the worst things that you could see. This is 23 all over again. A great team that wasn't playing up to their potential, but they were winning games. They were somehow winning the games, but they were doing what they had to do to swim by. And then teams started to figure them out. They started to lose. They get crushed in the postseason. That is this team. We can say, oh, well, they didn't really collapse like 23. This, to me, is 23 all over again. And this is an absolute fundamental disaster. Sirianni should be on the hot seat. Patullo should be fired tomorrow. There's a lot of different issues. Let's go back to the phones. Alex in Nebraska, what's going on, pal?
Oh, how are you, Broad?
Not good, Alex. Not good.
Yeah, I can tell. It's disgraceful. If someone doesn't get fired tomorrow or late today, then this is an embarrassment. It's embarrassing.
It is. This is one of the most fundamental losses. It is. I was just saying this. I was saying this all show. I said this when I had you on hold, that this team is This is 23 all over again. Even though they didn't have the total epic collapse like they did on paper, like they did in 23, this team collapsed. This team folded. This team, I mean, A.J. Brown giving up on
Well,
routes. I mean, it's horrendous, man. This is bad.
well, it's not a collapse because you can't collapse because in order to collapse, you had to have been good at one point, and
Yeah.
this team was just terrible. But speaking on the offensive side, they were terrible. They were terrible all year. If you told me coming into today the 49ers would have 23 points, I would have told you we lost.
Yeah, no,
Because everyone knows we're not putting over 19. And here's my thing. Going into today, we had 21, week one, we had 21 of our 22 week one starters coming in today.
Mhm.
The 49ers had Bosa missing. They had their linebacker missing. I'm blanking on his name. They missed Kittle pretty much all game.
Yeah.
Those are three complete game changers. Like, those are the three guys influence how a game goes. And they were missing all three, and it didn't look like it.
I agree.
I mean, Jalen's panicking in the pocket, and they say, oh, Jalen does what he can to win. He's a winner. Well, in order for us to win, he's got to run. He doesn't run anymore.
No.
Him running 3-4 times a game is not enough.
When he
I mean,
when he
it
ran
didn't look
tonight,
like he wanted to win out there.
when he ran tonight, he picked up some big time yards, bro. Like when he ran tonight,
Yeah.
I actually felt really good about the way he ran when he actually did run. But he didn't run. And this is a guy that, like you said, man, tells you all the time, I'll do whatever it takes to win. He doesn't want to do play action. He doesn't want to do stats from under center. He doesn't want to run the football. You know, he's a one-way player. Jalen Hurts is a one-way player. And today I'm not going to spend tonight ranting about Jalen Hurts because I don't think that he's the biggest issue. You know, he's part of the issue.
No, he's not.
I mean, he's not the issue, but he's part of it. He's a little bit part of it. But I'm not going to spend my night yelling about Jalen Hurts. That's a recipe for another day. Tonight falls on Patullo, and on top of Patullo, I think it honestly, this loss should fall completely on Nick Sirianni. Completely
I agree.
on Nick.
Well, look at it like this. Dallas Goedert, when he got the ball, he dominated.
Yeah, I agree.
They
You let him go.
They were down to linebackers that they found on the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas Goedert was dominating, and we didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
We gave it to him on fourth down. He got the first after A.J. Brown dropped it. And A.J., I don't even want to start talking about A.J. Brown because he's terrible.
I hate him.
He sucks, bud. But I mean, you have Dallas Goedert dominating these guys out there. Feed him. Keep feeding him until they figure it out.
Yeah, well, that's the issue. And I've been saying this all year. And since really Dallas Goedert has been in his quote unquote prime with the Eagles, that, you know, you got a guy that's a mismatch for literally anybody out there and you're not using him. And tonight they used him for what, the first half. He had the 2 touchdowns. He was a complete game changer. And then they went away from him in the second half until the final couple plays. And he picked up the big fourth down and whatever else. But I mean, this is, to me, a coaching malpractice, right? Like, this is bad.
Yeah.
They were outsmarted, they were out coached, they were out hustled every freaking step of the way.
Well, before I go, I got one more thing about coaching.
Yep.
Late fourth quarter, when we ended up kicking that field goal to get to 19, it was 2nd and 9. Jalen audibles, Jahan Dodson, streak to the end zone, whatever. Okay, my thing is, one, why are we throwing it to Jahan Dodson on the streak? Why are we audibling Jahan Dodson to the streak? 2, we've been moving the ball. Why are we passing it on second and 9? Run it with Tank Bigsby, get 5 yards, whatever. Now it's a manageable third down. We haven't been able to pass all game, so what makes you think we're gonna get a deep ball to Jahan Dodson in the end zone to connect? I can't even speak.
You can't find the words for it. Alex, thank you for the phone call. I think everybody, to me, feels the exact same way. And, today I don't have it in me to yell, and I know a lot of people know me to yell after Eagles games and after Phillies games. Tonight's not a day for me to yell. And maybe it is. Maybe today should be a day for me to yell. I don't feel like yelling today. I don't feel like I have it in me because I've been saying this since week 1. Since that Dallas game, I told everybody this offense isn't good enough. Patullo isn't good enough. This defense is great, but how do you expect to win your defense to be as perfect as they want to be for as long as they want to be? If you can't put up points, how do you expect? How do you expect to win? And you saw that fundamentally tonight. And it is like, and I've been saying, man, I've said this since day one with this team. And it is disgusting. It's disgusting. Because and I'm trying to find the words, because there's so many thoughts going through my head right now. AJ Brown's disaster, and I'm going to get into him because he needs to be traded as soon as possible. The fact that we were out coached, out hustled, and outsmarted, which is no surprise. And I've been telling you all for weeks. Dallas Goedert not being used correctly. How about Devontae Smith not being used correctly? I know he got hurt for a little bit in that game. He wasn't used correctly. How about Tank Bigsby? We didn't use him enough. I told all you, the way Tank Bigsby plays, we need to use him a lot. In the postseason, they didn't want to use him. So there is just so many issues. Like, it is so predictable. I mean, it's 1st and 20, little hitch plays. You know, it's just so bad. It's just so bad. Let's go back to the phones. Vince in South Jersey. Hopefully your phone works this time. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? I've had a little time to just think about the game and overall just the season that we've had. And, I really think that Nick Sirianni could have just played himself out of a job with the Eagles next year.
I agree.
I really do. And, when you think about how the season has gone down, especially towards the end of the season, we've been told that Nick Sirianni has been more and more involved in the offense. Have we not? And it's been shown clear on display that the play calling has not changed. And I don't think anyone can disagree. We've been running the same hitch routes, same inside zone runs. The offense is so predictable. It felt like the 49ers knew our entire playbook.
Yeah, well, they did.
So, I mean, it's a disgrace. So Nick Sirianni might have played himself out of a job, but hey, let's go run over to AJ Brown and go tell him that dropping the ball is bad. Like, thank God for Nick Sirianni. He has not only been a tyrant in the locker room, who has been yelling at opposing teams' fans, he has completely lost the locker room, in my opinion. Mailata will go on and say how Nick Sirianni is a great leader. I don't buy it for a second. And, I just don't know where we go with AJ Brown either. I think if us as Eagles fans are really looking into 2026, we might have just lost Dallas Goedert, who led our team in touchdowns. We might have just lost AJ Brown, who was an all-pro 3 times for us. We might have just lost our head coach, who brought us to the playoffs, 5 straight seasons? So this game right here could affect a lot for the Eagles down the line. And honestly, I would not be mad at, AJ, Nick, or Kevin Vitullo leaving. I would not be mad at that at all.
No, I agree. And I'll tell you this right now. I think AJ Brown needs to go. I've been saying that for a long time. I think he's an absolute cancer. And throughout the middle of the season, when, he was tweeting on Twitter and Instagram and then on the interviews, and he's going nuts, and it's like, dude, this is not right. There's obviously beef between him and Jalen. He's been a cancer. And then throughout the entire season, you saw bits and pieces of him just giving up on routes, not running the routes all the way through, dropping passes, super easy passes. He did that all season at bits and pieces. He did that. He was a master today at just letting the passes drop, not finishing his routes, not running hard enough. Like, that is what AJ Brown has turned into. And if there's a player it is so friggin' obvious that he wants nothing to do with the organization, it is AJ Brown. You had Dallas Goedert today, who every single game he plays, you actually use him. The dude's an absolute friggin' mismatch for everybody out there. And the fact that you don't use him, and I think he's a top 2, top 3 tight end in the league, and you don't use him the way that he should be used, is a disgrace. You used him great in the first half. You had the 2 touchdowns, picked up big-time yards. You abandoned him in the third. You abandoned him for about 14 minutes of the fourth quarter. And then, he picks up the big fourth. Like, it is an embarrassment that this coaching staff, this offensive coaching staff, doesn't know how to use personnel. That, to me, is the biggest issue. You have all these guys. You have Barkley. Barkley didn't have a great season. He had a good day today, not as perfect. He had a much better day today than he has had in the regular season. And I told you need to use Tank Bigsby more. You didn't use Tank Bigsby like I wanted you to use Tank Bigsby. You abandoned Devontae Smith, even though he was hurt a little bit. Like, you abandoned Devontae Smith. You were right out Lane Johnson, and I think Lane Johnson may retire. I think Lane Johnson may throw in the towel. He was done after last year. Now, I think he may be done now. That, there is, Yeah, I think Sirianni, and we can blame as much as we want on Patullo, and I think Patullo is a major issue. I'm going to tell you this right now. Nick Sirianni's the biggest issue. Nick Sirianni should be fired tomorrow. Nick Sirianni should be on the hot seat. Whether he's not fired this year, he should absolutely 1,000% be on the hot seat for next year. And I think Patullo should be fired immediately. I don't even think he should do a press con. Like, I don't even think he should talk to anybody. Be fired. Go. Walk away. You're done. And I don't want to hear anything about this continuity that we need Jalen to have, the same coordinator for years. No. This guy's a stiff. Sirianni, I'm tired of him hiring all of his buddies, and they're all stiffs. I think Sirianni's clueless. Patullo's clueless. They need to go. They need to clean house. I think Howie Roseman needs to be blamed for a large majority for letting Mekhi Becton walk, because Tyler Steens has been an absolute disaster. I mean, Fred Johnson was a disaster, right? And Cam Jurgens, let me tell you this. Cam Jurgens blows. Cam Jurgens sucks. Mekhi Becton last year made Cam Jurgens look like Kelsey. And that's an issue. This offensive line, we talk about this offensive line being one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. When Lane Johnson's not out there, we have Fred Johnson, who had 2 good games. He sucks now. Lane Johnson's old. I think he's going to retire. Tyler Steens is not a starter. Cam Jurgens blows. Mailata had a horrendous year. Landon Dickerson is the only one I have faith in. This offensive line isn't good enough anymore. Who knows what Barkley is? I have a lot of faith in Barkley, but I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, you're going to lose AJ Brown. So there's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of things that have to go down in the offseason. This is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah. And you know what? If I'm Tank Bigsby and I'm on the last year of my contract, I'm asking to be traded too.
Yeah.
If I'm Tank and I'm averaging almost 6 yards a carry, I'm asking to get out of Philly. Because why do you want to stay here? Why? I mean, yes, we've won, but this is not the same team. And you know what? If I'm Howie Roseman and I'm Jeffrey Lurie, you look at the history of this team. Hassan Reddick started causing problems. He was gone in a month.
Yep.
P.J. Gardner-Johnson started causing problems. He was gone twice. Yeah. A.J. Brown didn't even say goodbye to anyone in the locker room. He's gone. He is gone. A.J. Brown is gone. Believe it or not, he didn't hug a single player. He didn't say goodbye to any of the reporters. He didn't say a word. He left the friggin' facility. He's gone. And you know what? Nick Sirianni is another one of those clowns. And if Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie don't make their big decision to get rid of him, then it's going to be the same thing as every other year. Same thing. We'll make it to the playoffs, and we'll either explode and just mess up in the wild card like usual, or I don't even know. But I mean, it's just not a good sign. It's not. No. And you know what? Washington, if they're healthy, they're only getting better. If Dallas stays healthy, they have probably the best receiving core in the league. And you know what? The Giants have, potential. They have one of the best defensive lines in the league. So, I mean, you're looking at this, right? And we're talking about maybe Lane leaving. We're talking about AJ leaving. We're talking about losing our head coach. This is not good for the Eagles. And, the window is closing a lot faster than people may think. And you know what? If Saquon has another, down year, I get he had 1,000 yards and he had a decent game today. I was not impressed with Saquon this year either. And I get people want to say the offensive line, but, we're paying these offensive line for 4 more years. We're not going to get rid of our offensive linemen. So, we got a lot of big decisions to make. And honestly, it's the same undisciplined offense. And I'm not even talking about the defense, because I've been completely satisfied with Vic Fangio, and Quinyon Mitchell played fantastic today. I thought Cooper DeJean played fantastic. Obviously, first team All-Pros. But this offense, I don't even know where we go from here. And for my final remarks, I just want to say one last thing. Fire Nick Sirianni.
I agree with you, Vince. That was a good call. I thought you had a good call. I did. And it was like, dude, this is one of those things, man. And I think that, after a game like this, you have to think about all the things, right? In totality, about the game. But I think I'm honestly kind of looking ahead. To the fact that they need to trade A.J. Brown. I think Nick Sirianni should be fired. I think there needs to be people walking out of the door. I think Lane's going to go. I think AJ's going. I mean, Bigsby's probably going to request a trade. Who knows what Barkley's going to be next year? I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand, man. I don't understand, man. I really don't. When we get back, we're going to be taking more of your phone calls and comments. You are listening to the Eagles post-game show here on Broad Street Sports, your home for the best Philly sports talk every day and unfiltered. If you're in South Philly and hungry, you need to check out Steak 'em Up on 11th and Shunk. They've got it all. Breakfast sandwiches, breakfast pizza, hoagies, classic cheesesteaks, fresh pizzas, and more. Everything's made and packed with flavor any time of the day. Stop by for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and see why locals keep coming back for more. Steak 'em Up, where South Philly comes to eat. Looking for a real Italian bite? Cafe Merlino at 6 Shoppers Lane in Turnersville, New Jersey has you covered. Fresh cutlet sandwiches, classic hoagies, and hearty pasta dishes, all made with care and the flavor you crave. Whether it's lunch or dinner or just a quick bite, every meal is packed with fresh ingredients and a bold taste. Stop by Cafe Merlino today and see why they're taking South Jersey and the Philly area by storm. Ride in style with Wagner Luxury Limo out of Swedesboro, New Jersey. Whether it's a ride to the game, an airport run, or a special night out, Wagner Luxury Limo gets you there safely and comfortably. Professional drivers, luxury vehicles, and a service you can count on. Book your ride today and arrive like a VIP. Visit online or call 856-481-8020. When it comes to tree work, Jason Pilla Tree Specialist in Galloway, New Jersey has you covered. From tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, they get the job done quickly, safely, and at a price you can trust. Keep your property looking at its best and protect your home with the pros at Jason Pilla Tree Specialist. Call today for your free estimate at 609-965-8003. That's 609-965-8003. And make sure you tell them Broad Street Sports sent you. One of the worst losses I have seen in Eagles history. One of the worst losses, folks. That's the and I've seen a lot of them. You know, you look back over the years, right? You want to look back over the years at the Alshon Jeffrey drop versus New Orleans. The oh my God, 23 versus the Buccaneers. 22 in the Super Bowl. We can keep going. We can keep going. Let's talk about the loss against Seattle. What was that, 2019? You know, I mean, it is – I've seen a lot of bad Eagles postseason losses. And to me, this one's right at the top because you had every possible thing going for you. You had a team that came in unhealthy. You had their best player, their tight end, axed from the game. He was injured. You had 2 turnovers. They had to come into the cold, into the wind, in Philly. By the way, they had no rest because they played all their starters in a big-time game against Seattle. They came into Philly and wiped their ass all over you and made you look like a fool. They made the Philadelphia Eagles look like a fool. And we're going to talk about this loss all week and probably for a long time. Sirianni needs to go. Patullo needs to go. I'm sure Lane Johnson's going to retire. Like, there's a lot of things that go with this now. But this is, to me, one of the worst losses in Eagles history. Absolutely one of the worst losses in Philadelphia Eagles history. So, guys, please hit that like button and subscribe. Please, 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 please. I greatly appreciate the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment. It's free to do so. And call into the show. I want to hear your thoughts after this pathetic loss. 215-839-8246. That's the number to get in. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to my buddy Lambo. What's going on, pal?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing, man?
I'm not doing good, bro.
I'm not either.
I'm not going to yell at you, and I don't mean anything by this. I'm kind of busting balls. But you're like the third person tonight that's called in and said, how am I doing? I think everybody knows how I'm doing. Yeah, I think everybody knows how I'm doing, Lambo. Yeah, I mean, I'm just busting your chops.
That's great. I also wanted to point out that the last call was fantastic. It was a great call.
I agree. I look, people are pissed. I don't think everybody has a right to be pissed after a game where you had everything going for you. You had interceptions. You had a banged up team. You had the best defenses in the league, in my opinion. I actually thought the Eagles defense was better than Seattle. And that's saying a lot because Seattle's a great defense. And you absolutely wasted a golden opportunity tonight. And honestly, this may be the best thing for my mental health because I don't know how much longer I can keep watching this Brent Eagles football. I mean, it was killing me.
Man. It's terrible. It's like, a lot of stuff I wanted to say was kind of covered.
Yeah.
But I'll point something out that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. I didn't hear a lot of names tonight that I should have heard. Zach Bond, Jalix Hunt.
Yeah.
Where were those guys, huh?
Yeah, I know. I agree with you.
I didn't hear a peep. I didn't hear a word, bro. I didn't hear nothing coming out of them. I couldn't believe it. From this star defense.
Yeah. No,
nobody's talking about that.
And that's the biggest thing to me because to me the defense did not play well. Like I thought the defense played fine. Really, is that the right way to say it? Like to me, I always knew in the postseason you can roll any post-game show I had, any show I've had, any clip I posted. I said this defense at some point was going to allow over 20 points, and the offense would not be able to keep up. And tonight was a prime example of that.
Yeah.
And they can't keep up, man. And you know what? I'm waiting for people to finally admit that I was right all year. I mean, since week one, I was right. Like this.
Listen, man, you were. Absolutely.
This team's not
100%.
good enough. They were never good enough. They can't score. They can't run. They can't block. They can't pass. And this defense, I think you bring up a great point because I think a lot of people this tonight and this week and as long as we can continue to talk about this, we're going to talk about the offense and I 1000% agree with the offense, but I think people are going to skip over the defense. And I think you bring up a great point. Where was Jalix Hunt? Where was Zach Bourne? You miss out like Quinyon and Cooper DeJean showed up tonight. But that was really it, in my opinion, that I actually saw that were difference makers. The defensive line wasn't putting enough pressure on them. So, I mean, I thought the defense tonight played okay. Really, in a league where you allow, 23 points, that should not be an automatic loss, right? Like, I asked people before this game started, the Eagles allow 23 points. Do you believe that the Eagles can come back and win that game? I don't think so.
No, man. It's hard now.
And here's
you're good. Keep talking.
I'm gonna let you speak because my brain's just like rambling, dude.
Nah, man, I totally get it.
I am to me. If look the way that the Bears were last night, they were down 27, 21 points, whatever it was. They came back and won the game. Their defense last night came back, stopped them. Their offense came back, won the game. I don't think the Eagles' offense could have done that at all. When that final drive happened, I had zero faith. I mean, I my heart was racing because I thought they were just going to throw a pick. I did not like it. I thought it was pathetic. And this is what I mean, right? So I'm gonna let you go and rant whatever you want to do here. It's just like we can talk whatever we want about this defense. At some point, no matter how good they are, they're going to slip up. They're going to allow a couple points. They're going to allow a couple touchdowns. And your offense has to be able to put up points and go shot for shot. And this team doesn't know how to go shot for shot this year. You're running hitch plays on first and 20. You're still running
go
the
routes
football
nonstop.
Running the football on third and long. They give up.
Running the football on third and long, bro. Don't even get me started.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God, I could not believe it.
Yeah. So look, I'm gonna let you go. Say whatever you got to say, man.
Yeah. So I just want to say that I just watched a lack of professionals, bro. Professionals lacking being professional at a sport. I couldn't believe it. The guy gets paid $50 million a year or whatever.
Yeah.
He can't fucking throw the ball. I can go out there, throw a 25-yard pass, and I got more yards than him. What the fuck does that say?
No, I mean,
what does that say, bro?
I agree with you. I really do.
Listen, football or life. That's a horrible ratio, man. Really? You're going to put up no work and you're getting paid all that money? This quarterback needs to go. Same with the head coach. He's on the hot seat.
Well, I think he should be on the hot seat. And tonight, I talked about this with a previous caller. I don't think, I think Jalen Hurts is part of the problem. I don't think tonight he was the problem. I don't think that tonight, like, this was a game that was like, okay, well, we lost because Jalen Hurts just sucks, And then there has been
a group loss.
Look, there has been plenty of games that Jalen Hurts has lost us games, and I've said that.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think tonight was a night where I can sit here and yell and scream about Jalen Hurts and say, yeah, that guy is the reason why we lost. And I could point out 15 different things the reason why we lost. Running the football on third down or third and long. Running hitch plays, and go routes on first and 20. The offensive line couldn't block it cold. Jalen Hurts escaping from the pocket way too early because he thinks the pocket's collapsing.
That pisses me off so much, man.
Jake Elliott missing a field goal. Now imagine, and earlier in the show I said, what? Jake Elliott missing a field goal at this point in the game doesn't really matter because we weren't going to win. Now let's think about it. Jake Elliott makes that field goal. Then we kicked that field goal to go up 20-17. They scored a touchdown. Then and they missed extra points. So then it would have been 23-20, and we were down in field goal range. If we had 20 points, Jake Elliott makes that field goal. We would have had a tie game. We would have been overtime, and it could have been anybody's game. So now that
absolutely, I wanted to bring that up
during my commercial break. I was actually thinking about that. Because earlier in the show, I was like, it ended up not really mattering, at all. But now I'm thinking about it. You make that field goal, you go up 20-17. They scored a touchdown. They missed the extra point. Then you're only down by 3. And then Jake Elliott could possibly make a field goal, even though I had no faith in Jake Elliott. I think he's another guy who may have to go this season. So
I think so as well.
Yeah, so I mean, I look at a lot of different things. I think AJ Brown giving up on routes, just stopped running. He just stopped running, and he just dropped.
He fucking stopped running, bro.
Right. I mean, and you want to talk about a coach who doesn't know how to use personnel? That's Patullo and Sirianni, little butt buddies. It's a disaster. This is.
It is. The offense and the team as a whole is a disaster. There's going to be a lot of changes made this offense. I want to see Patullo going. I'm going to say it. I want to see Patullo going. I want to see Sirianni going. I want to see A.J. Brown going. I want to see Jalen Hurts going. And I want to see a new offensive line. I need Steen gone. I need Fred Johnson going. Fred Johnson is a career backup. He's ridiculous. He's been in the league for 7 years, bro. 7 years. And he's playing like a rookie. I can't believe what I'm watching.
No, dude, I agree with you, and I think Juergens played horrible tonight as well. I think
Juergens played terrible, and I love what you said about Mekhi Becton. Yeah. That Mekhi Becton, basically, he made Juergens look like an All-Pro.
I think he made him look like Kelsey.
Exactly. Yep.
Because look, I think a lot of great centers also look really good because they have a lot of good guards next to them. And I think like Kelsey had great guards next to him here and there, like a majority of the time, but he also didn't have great guards next to him a lot of the time. But Cam Juergens is a prime example. Last year, he has big-ass Landon Dickerson next to him and big-ass Mekhi Becton next to him. This year, he's got Tyler Steens, and the other half, he didn't have Landon Dickerson. And I don't even know who they had starting over there. Matt Pryor? I don't even know. That's the problem. So I don't think Cam Juergens was good, and I don't think Mailata was good at all this season. Lampo, I really appreciate
No, Mailata had a very bad season this year.
No, I mean, he
very
really
bad.
did. And Lampo, I appreciate the phone call. I mean, this is a fundamental loss. This is, to me, one of those losses that change the franchise. In a way, I really think that they need to end up trading A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown needs to go as soon as possible. He needs to go. And if it's me, man, I'm thinking about bringing in maybe John Harbaugh. What do you guys think about that, man? A little John Harbaugh action here in Philly? Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you take him? Wouldn't you take John Harbaugh? Even this, right? Even if let's say you keep Sirianni, you fire Patullo. You bring in McDaniels. You bring in the guy from Miami. You bring McDaniels in. You bring in Stefanski. I don't know who do you bring in. That's the issue, right? So this team is are you going to hire somebody else from inside the organization that is butt buddies with Sirianni? You know what I mean? Or are you going to hire somebody who is established in the league like Kellen Moore was? Because that to me, you can't fire Patullo and then bring somebody else up from the bottom of you just can't do it. That doesn't operate. You know what I mean? And it's a disaster. I don't think you can call up another quarterback coach or another pass game coordinator and say that and say that is our solution to the game. I don't think so. To me, that's not what you can do. You have to go if you're going to do this and you're going to do this the right way, then you're going to trade Sirianni. You're going to fire Sirianni. You're going to fire Patullo. You got to bring in McDaniel. I think McDaniel. If you're going to keep Sirianni, you're going to fire Patullo. It's got to be McDaniel. It's got to be somebody who has experience. If you're going to fire Sirianni, I think it has to be John Harbaugh. I don't know. To me, I wouldn't go from Sirianni to Stefanski, but I would go from Sirianni to Harbaugh in a heartbeat. But I think that I think Sirianni would not be fired this offseason. I think he needs to be on the hot seat for next year. You know what I mean? I think he needs to be on for a hot seat for next year. To me, Patullo's the right move. I think he needs to be fired tonight. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to my buddy Will in South Jersey. What's going on, Will?
Hey, Pops. How are you, man? I know how you're feeling, but I just want to ask.
Not good, bro. Not good at all. I am heartbroken. I'm disgusted, man. I'm embarrassed. I have second-hand embarrassment.
It's an unexpected loss for sure.
Well, it was expected by me. It was expected 1,000% by me. I've been saying this since week one. Everybody in the chat, in the show, anybody, go watch my clips. Go watch my shows. I've been saying it since week one, bro. That this team is not good enough. I have people in my comments right now here on YouTube screaming about A.J. Brown. People are pissed. He's got to go.
Well, he is not going to be a member of this team next year. I will tell you that.
He shouldn't be. I think he's horrible. I've seen this guy. Let me explain this to you, Will. I've seen this guy, and since I've started doing sports radio, sports talk, right, I watch the game from a different lens, right? Like, I don't watch it from just a fan's perspective. I watch it in a different way. You know what I mean? I actually watch when A.J. Brown was going through his little Twitter stuff, whatever it was. I actually would watch A.J. Brown. The guy gives up on routes. He doesn't run the routes 100%. He gives up. He drops passes. Tonight was a prime example of a dude that wants nothing to do with the organization.
What is that? Three bad drops tonight? One late in the game.
I think it was two. I think, correct me if I'm wrong.
It might have been.
I think it was two that he dropped tonight. Well, they didn't talk.
And the second one being the most crucial one, late in the game, 3rd and long, have to get it.
He should have caught it. He did have it, by the way. And then what about that play Devontae had where Jalen decided to throw it into triple coverage, and Devontae almost had him, and he should have had it to me, but it is what it is. I mean, Dom DeSandro caught more passes than A.J. Brown and in the second half, and that is a disaster. I mean,
they had multiple chances to win, multiple opportunities, multiple chances, and it's just chances that a professional team like them should not. They shouldn't have lost. They shouldn't have lost that game. They should be heading to Chicago. And to be honest, even if they did make it to Chicago, I don't know. They might have gotten their asses kicked.
Oh, they would have. Oh, 1,000%.
Chicago looked amazing yesterday, especially in the second half.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to try and make it short and sweet. Is and I said this to a previous caller. We can say whatever we want, but I mean, part of me is kind of not excited, okay with the fact that we got bounced, because I don't know how much more I could have taken of Eagles football. If I saw a game, another one where the Eagles win by 3 or win by 2, win by 1, and they play this horrible brand of football, and it seems like every other drive I'm stroking out. You know what I mean? I don't know how much more I could have taken of that. And that, like, that's like that, I can't do it.
I don't think, like, it's a huge change that they need to fix, to be honest. I think there's small changes that go a long way. Like, we know Patullo's going to be gone. he's going to be gone after this week.
I don't know.
A.J. Brown, he needs to be traded. And to be honest, whoever they're going to bring on next, it can't be up to Sirianni. I was listening to 94 WIP. It can't be up to Sirianni. It has to go up to Laurie and Roseman, and they have to make the right decision for the team. I don't think Sirianni should get bounced. He should stay, I think.
Well,
but for their next offensive coordinator, Howie and Laurie have to start. They have to interview guys. They can't leave it up to Sirianni anymore. He has to direct the team and focus on the team. Everything else leaves Howie and Laurie up to it, because whatever Sirianni did to bring on Patullo, and I get it, he won a Super Bowl last year, but clearly that didn't work out this year. So from now on, it has to be the higher ups who make the right decision.
No, it does, and that is, and that's where they went wrong with Doug, or Doug went wrong. Like, Doug wanted to keep his guys in there, and Laurie and Rosen were like, hell no, and then they got into a fight and they ended up firing. Whatever the case is, they know,
and that's why things with Doug went so wrong.
They know that they can bully Sirianni into doing what they want, and that's fine. You know what I mean? If you want to bully Nick Sirianni,
yeah, they need
another guy. And it can't. Look, if you're going to fire Patullo, which I at this point, man, as much as I want him going, I don't see him doing it for a lot of different reasons. But I'll tell you this: if Patullo's going, you can't convince me on bringing up a pass game coordinator. You can't convince me on bringing up a quarterback coach. It doesn't work. It doesn't happen. This team can't win. This team doesn't have it. And honestly, man, I'd love to see Sirianni going. But honestly, if you're not going to let him go, fine. But I think Sirianni should be on the hot seat for next year. I think that's where it's going to be. Will, thank you for the phone call. I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you this. I think he brings up a good point, because he believes that Patullo is going to be fired next week, whatever it is. This week, who knows? To me, as much as I want Kevin Patullo fired, gone, whatever, it's not going to happen. I actually, there is a large majority of me that does not believe that Kevin Patullo will be fired. Because to me, you hear all these guys speak, you hear all these analysts, all these experts, all these guys inside the NovaCare complex saying, well, the Eagles are super worried about Jalen having the continuity, the offense having the continuity, being able to be with the same coordinator, being able to play with each other consistently, having the same guys, having the same coordinators, having the same plays. That is what they believe, because they believe deep down that is what's going to win them a championship. They believe that is going to help them. So I could sit here right here on this post-game show all week and on clips and on other people's shows and tell you that they need to fire Kevin Patullo and they may need to even fire Nick Sirianni. But I know the Eagles. The Eagles literally won't get rid of Kevin Patullo because of the fact that they believe that the best thing for this football team is to have a coach and an offensive coordinator for more than 1 year, which to me, I do agree, right? Like, it sucks that Jalen in the offense has to have a different coordinator every other game, every other season. But at what point does this team look at it and they say, dude, this can't happen anymore? You know what I mean? We watched, I'm going to have to calculate it because I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, 3 games where the Eagles scored over 28 points. Minnesota, New York, Washington, the first game, the Buccaneers. That's it. 4 games, 4 or 5 games that the Eagles actually scored over 28 points, 28 or more, around there. That's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. We have an offensive coordinator that doesn't know what he's doing. We have a head coach. Here's what his job is. He has nothing to do with the offense, nothing to do. He's not an offensive-minded coach. He's not a defensive-minded coach. But you know what he is, though? He's Mr. Discipline. He's Mr. Motivation. He's Mr. We have to do the little things right in order to win. That's what his job is. That's what he cons you all into believing. That's what they cons you all into believing. And this is the most incompetent, unprofessional, undisciplined football team I've seen. The amount of penalties. How many times did Cam Jurgens get a penalty tonight? I mean, you want to talk about this. We could talk about as much as we want about Patullo and the offensive play calling. How about how many plays did not only tonight, but throughout the entire season where Juergens and the offensive line, the holding penalties, the defensive pass interference, like all these flags nonstop. That falls on Sirianni. And I've never really been a Sirianni guy. I've actually just given him the benefit of the doubt so much because he's won a championship, even though to me he was bailed out by a wonderful defense by Vic and a great offense by Kellen Moore. But this is one of those things where I think they have to take one big good look at Nick Sirianni and say, is this the right guy for the future? Because when you're trying to bring free agents in and draft guys, right, like you want to have faith in your coach that they have like the ability to sway somebody either way and that they can actually lead the team. And we saw Howie and Lurie fire Doug Peterson after what, the year or 2 or 3 or 4 after the Super Bowl. I mean, we saw Nick Sirianni collapse twice. He didn't have a good year in 21. It is what it is. But I know they're not going to fire Sirianni, but I think he has every gosh damn right to be on the hot seat, man. That guy has every damn right to be on the hot seat. He needs to be for next year. But I think they need to end up firing Petulo. I'll tell you this, if we have a real opportunity of bringing in my boy, bringing in Harbaugh, I'll bring Harbaugh in a heartbeat. I'm in favor of bringing in, what's his name, Mike McDaniels. I'll bring him in. The Eagles have to change something up, and I want everybody to realize this. Everybody in the chat, I'm going to read your comments. Everybody in the chat, everybody watching, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you're new to the way, hit that like button and subscribe and leave a comment. I want to hear your thoughts, though. You guys want to call into the show, 215-839-8246. That's how I'm going to get in. So where was I getting at? Well, I don't even know what I was. My brain's all over the place. We have a head coach right now. Look, I'm going to tell you this. If the Eagles actually have an opportunity to bring in Harbaugh, do it. And I think they may have an opportunity to bring him in. I think he would be interested in coaching the Eagles. If Harbaugh would want to come to Philadelphia, do you bring Harbaugh in? Because to me, I think you got to get rid of both offensive coaches, which is, Sirianni and Petulo. Do you bring him in? Because I'll tell you what, I don't see this team getting rid of Sirianni. I really don't see. I see them getting rid of Petulo before I see them getting rid of Sirianni, because I think they like Sirianni. I think he's been to Super Bowls. He's done whatever he has to do, right? Like they like Sirianni. But I've also seen them move on from Doug Peterson a couple years after winning a championship. Because he wasn't really listening to him. He was being a tyrant. They had a couple losing teams that weren't very good. And that's this team, right? Like, it is impossible. This guy in the comments. Hold on, I got to read a couple of these comments. This guy's got me laughing down here in the comments, bro. I think that's a good comment. I'll read it in 2 seconds. But I'm just saying, man. I seen them fire Doug Peterson and a couple years after winning the Super Bowl. I think they could do it with Sirianni, and he's collapsed twice. I think that needs to happen. I really do. Let's read a couple of these comments. Let's read a couple. That's right. The NFC Championship was a fluke. Belt to ass since. I actually still think the Eagles were the better team on. I can't even say that because I would say on paper. But I mean, I still think the Eagles were the better team. They just whatever. Go Cowboys. What a joke. Fire Sirianni before you fire Petulo. I'd fire both of them right now. Jalen moves like he's on Zach. Oh, jeez. AJ Brick Hands Brown. I hate AJ Brown. He's got to go. This guy's got to go ASAP. AJ Brown needs to be traded immediately. I've been saying that for a long time. I've been saying that since we had that beef on Twitter. Jalen threw that 3rd and 4th down away at the end of the game. That's not clutch, and he ain't it. I'm going to tell you this, and I don't think that's going to get talked about enough. Jalen Hurts on that 4th down, on the final drive on 3rd and 4th down, where both times he decided to throw it into triple coverage. No, that is a disaster. He did not play his best football, and tonight is not a night for me to rip into Jalen, even though I'd love to. But Jalen did not play his best football. All I ever hear is that Jalen Hurts rises to the occasion. He's a winner. He's a winner. He's a winner. I don't see Jalen Hurts doing what he apparently is so good at, especially tonight. They have an OC every year because the head coach is incompetent. Fire Sirianni, they hire McDaniels or Stefanski. I don't look. I'm going to tell you this. I wouldn't bring in McDaniels as the head coach. I would be okay with bringing in McDaniels as the offensive coordinator. Like if you're going to keep Sirianni, which at this point they're most likely going to do, I'd see them getting rid of Patullo instead of Sirianni. So if you're going to get rid of Sirianni, I think you bring in Mike McDaniel. Or yeah, right, man, Mike McDaniel. I think you do that. I think that'd be an outstanding decision by this football team. And that's that. But if you're going to bring in the head coach, if you're going to fire Sirianni, I actually think you need to bring in John Harbaugh. You know what I mean? I think John Harbaugh is the only kind of, and maybe you bring in. I don't know about the Stefanski. Like maybe you could sell me on bringing in Stefanski as a head coach. I don't know. I think that's maybe another conversation for another day. I think the Stefanski's another offensive coordinator type of guy. That's just me. But I if you're going to keep Sirianni, I think you need to hire McDaniel. And if you're going to fire Sirianni, I'd try to bring in Harbaugh. Hurts and Sirianni both deserve lifetime contract. Yeah, let's see. You could have Jesus calling the plays, and it won't help if Jalen Hurts is the QB. Preach, bro. Preach. You're my man, bro. That is, I mean, it's true. I think it's true. And I look, if Jalen Hurts not play his the best football, then that's that. And I've ripped in the Jalen Hurts plenty over the course of the season and over the course of his career. I just don't think Jalen Hurts tonight is the main culprit. I know late in the game he had a bad stretch. The third and fourth down, he did not play his best football. I get that. I understand, man. I agree. But I don't think tonight falls completely on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. I don't think your defense, especially the secondary, played well. I don't think your defensive line, which I thought was getting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks, especially late in the season, I don't think they did enough at all. You didn't hear big time names. You didn't hear Zach Boyne. You didn't hear Jalen Hunt. You didn't hear anybody. You know what I mean? You didn't hear anybody. And your offense, I mean, they just gave up on Devontae, gave up on Dallas Goedert. They gave up. There's so many other conversations for this week, man. So many other conversations for this week. Let's read one more comment. Dak, with that Eagles team, wins the Super Bowl easily, even with Lane out. Hurts isn't good to me, but to each its own. Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not a fan of Jalen Hurts. I attack Jalen. I critique him, but I also praise him when he does well. To me, I don't think he played outstanding football tonight. I don't think he played awful either. I think he was okay. I think he was okay, but I don't think he lives up to that standard that all these people put him at, is that he's a winner and he's a champion winner and he's all this and that. I don't think he's that. And tonight, I think he proved that when shit got tough tonight and there was no run game for him to lean on. He didn't have the juice. That's going to be it for the Eagles post-game show here on Broad Street Sports. I just want to say, everybody, I really greatly appreciate everybody tuning in, not only tonight, but throughout the entire season on the Eagles post-game shows. It's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun, even though the games haven't been fun to watch, doing the post-game shows with people ranting and yelling in the comments, right? Like, it's fun. And it makes what I do, great. And so I really appreciate everybody. So make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe, and I'd really greatly appreciate it. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Even if you don't watch another video I post or do, just please hit the like button and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, man, I don't know. It's been a fun year doing this and, getting special guests on and the post games and, I don't know. It's been weird. It was just a weird season, man, and it was a frustrating season. And I have called this season the entire way. I said you were going to get bounced in the first round of the postseason. I said that you didn't have what it took. And tonight, I think that for all the fans that look, I'm going to tell you this. For all the fans out there that were still holding on for your dear life, like this is the Eagles, yeah. This is what happens, man. You know what I mean? Because there's people out there like me and other people that are telling you flat out this team's not good enough. We're giving you the reasons. We're telling you what the issues are, and you are just so attached to the Eagles and winning and this culture. And you were so blind to see it, because I think if every Eagles fan understood this team is not good enough, I think it would have been a different, maybe not a different outcome, but I think people would feel differently. But the fact that people actually thought coming into the night's game that the Eagles had a real shot to blow them out or win the game, I mean, I really didn't, and I told everybody I had zero faith. I was scared. I was petrified. 49. I was petrified. They're a good team, man. They've been very good. And even without their best players, and they lose Kittle early in the game. And Brock Purdy throws 2 interceptions. This team still can't put up points. Jake Elliott still can't make field goals. There's a lot of issues on this team, and as I guess we're going to wait and see how this unfolds, the post-game press conferences, the day after press conferences, and we're going to wait and see all of it. But I know this week we're going to talk about Sirianni being fired, Tulo being fired, like all these different things. And I think that these are all very, 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 very good and big-time discussions for this team. Because I want everybody to understand here, and I'm trying to wrap this up. So I'm sorry I keep rambling. I actually believe that, what's his name? AJ Brown's going to go. I think he has to go. I think AJ Brown's going. I think Dallas Goedert's going. I think Lane Johnson is going to retire. I mean, he tried to retire last year after the Super Bowl. Who else? I think Tank Bigsby probably requests a trade. Who knows what you get from Barkley next year? John Dotson's probably going to go. Right? And remember, you got to give Jalen Carter a big contract. You got to give Jordan Davis a big contract. I think people just think that this team is like a copy and paste for years and years and years and years. It's not going to. We're hitting the end of a road here. Like this year was one of those years where you can solidify yourself as like a dynasty and as like the team, the dynasty. And this team couldn't do it. And I think the quicker fans realize that the Eagles could be without A.J. Brown next year. The Eagles could be without Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Dallas Goedert, Tank Bigsby, John Dotson, Lane Johnson, all of these guys. When people finally start to wake up and realize that, and they're going to be without Patullo, hopefully, and maybe even Sirianni, like who knows? Who knows where this takes us? But the Eagles don't have the power and the money to bring back all these guys. That's the bottom line. That's the issue. They don't have the money to bring back everybody. They're not. And they can't. I think to me that there was more in this locker room story, like the cancer and like the cancers in the locker room and the anger and the frustration and like this resentment towards each other. Like I think there was more of that than people knew. I like when AJ Brown was tweeting all that stuff. I don't think it was just him, even though he's the large majority. I think it was the entire team. I don't think anybody throughout the entire season was on the same page. Coaching staff and players, I don't think they're all on the same page. Offensively, defensively, they're perfect. They're fine, whatever. But offensively, I don't think a single player and a coach was on board. I think there is immense beef with Jalen and AJ. Right, like there's issues. And the quicker people realize there's issues on this team and the coaching staff's a disaster and Patullo and Sirianni are a disaster and that we can't and we won't re-sign all these players back, that to me is when people wake up. People need to wake up ASAP. People need to realize that I've been saying this. Look, and if you're new to the channel, people that have been here on the channel for a while, they know how I feel. They know how I react to these games. I've been saying it since week 1 with the Eagles beat the Cowboys by, 4 points, that this team isn't good enough. And that Patullo is not good enough. And Jalen Hurts isn't playing up. And Barkley's not good. Like, all these things. I've been saying this since week 1. And I said they get into the postseason, they're going to run into a team that's hot. And they're going to get steamrolled. And that's exactly what happened tonight. And that's exactly what I've been saying for weeks. So I'll take the apology from everybody who called me stupid. I'll take an apology from everybody who called me an idiot. I was right. I knew what I was talking about. I was right the entire season. Do not doubt me. There is more beef. There is more anger on this team than people know. People need to understand that. People need to wake up, man. That is enough for me. Thank you guys all for tuning in here to the Eagles post-game show here on Broad Street Sports. Your home for the best Philly sports talk every single day and unfiltered. We'll be back tomorrow and this week, continuing to break this down, continuing to get my thoughts and the Sirianni go and where does Petula go and all these other things. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and go check out the merch in the link in my description. Please go check it out. Just went on the screen right there. Check the merch in the description. There's a link. It'll take you right to my online merchandise store. Lots of cool things. Rep your favorite Philadelphia sports podcast. Thank you guys all. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. I can't say go Birds, but go Sixers and go Phillies. See you. Harper has been absolutely insane. I'm ready to run through a wall.
We're going to run some clock.
This team is destined